Today, we're going to look at the PerGear 7.5mm f2.8 fisheye lens on the Fuji XT200 to see how it does for vlogging. Let's go. What's up everybody? Phil with Tech Gear Fun here today. Wanted to have you take a look at this PerGear 7.5mm f2.8 fisheye lens. We're on the XT200, the Fuji XT200. I've got electronic image stabilization turned on, which is what the XT200 has. I did a test with the same lens on the Fuji X-T4, which has also in-body stabilization. So you can, I'm going to show you some footage side by side, and you can see the difference between the in-body stabilization with electronic versus just this with electronic stabilization. But I wanted to show you a couple things on this lens. One is it's a manual focus lens. It's completely manual actually. There are no electronic contacts at all, so it doesn't communicate with the camera, but you can, or you do have to manually focus with this. Just wanted to show you that it's fairly simple and straightforward to manually focus. Also, it's a fisheye prime lens, so the lines won't look really straight. You'll probably see they're bending. Things kind of look weird like it would on a GoPro. So it's really not going to give you straight lines, but that can be corrected, and I'll show you some corrected footage. Right now this footage is uncorrected, which means I'm not trying to make the line straight. You get the entire field of view. You can see this massive field of view. 7.5mm on this crop sensor is somewhere between 11 and 12mm, so it's a super wide angle lens. $129, got this one from Amazon. Just wanted to show you kind of the focus. So right now I'm in focus, and there's a focus peaking tool that you can use that will show you a color red on the areas that are in focus. And there's also a focus zoom, which you can do when you're not recording. On the Fuji X-T4, you can actually punch in or look at and zoom in while you're recording. With this one, the X-T200, I can't find a way to do that. But you can see now that I'm in focus. I just wanted to show you we're at the aperture setting of f2.8. So this is f2.8, holding it at arm's length. Now we're coming in, and you can see just how deep, I'm not changing the focus here, just how deep the depth of focus is. So it looks like about right here I'm in focus all the way out to here. So you do have some room to kind of move if your arm moves a little bit. But this is the, butterfly. There's a great blue heron out here. I didn't want to come over, but he was hunting and kind of startled me when I pulled up here to the beautiful pond. What I'm going to do now is, you can see the trees in the back are kind of curved, especially here. What I'll do is I'll straighten those out, or at least get them as straight as I possibly can now, and you'll see this corrected footage. So you do lose a little bit on the field of view, meaning the frame is a little less wide. Pay attention to the corners up here to see if there's any warping. Just see how the stabilization looks. To me on the screen it looks pretty good, and I'll check it when I get the video on the computer. But this is the electronic stabilization, so there, again, there's no stabilization in this 7.5mm manual focus lens. You cannot put an ND filter on it, that's why you see the exposure might look a little bit off. I've got the exposure set, trying not to use auto exposure, but just so it's set, so you'll see that some of it looks a little blown out and bright, but it should be pretty well controlled when I'm here inside the tree canopy. So this is it. This is the Fuji X-T200 with this PerGear 7.5mm f2.8 lens. It's pretty solid lens. It's well built. It's got a nice focus ring. It's got a nice click-free aperture ring. It's metal. It's got a nice lens hood built in. Front element is bulbous, so again, you can't put any filters on it. But I looked at it on the X-T4, like I said. So let's take a look at how the X-T4 looks. Now I'm walking, and you'll see on the left I'll put the X-T200 on your left, and on the right I'll put the X-T4, and that will give you an idea on the stabilization difference. So again, the X-T200 does not have an in-body image stabilization, it just has electronic, but this is the electronic stabilization versus the Fuji X-T4 with in-body and electronic. That's it. I wanted to show you this lens, both on the Fuji X-T4 as a preview. If you want to see that X-T4 video, I'll put a link up here. But this is the X-T200, a nice little compact camera. One of the most beautiful screens that I've ever seen on any camera, flip screens. Good for vlogging, potentially, and this lens might make it a nice little vlogging setup. Again, if you don't need to zoom, but how does the stabilization look? Let me know what you think of the lens below, the stabilization, the colors, the overall image quality on this X-T200. This is Phil, Tech Gear Fun. I will talk at you again in the next video. Thanks for watching.